make sure that their cupboards were full. Whatever they needed, I'd give them. Do you know what I mean? There was never any violence or anything like that, and that kind of worked out. Like, so say for example, when people started finding out about this town and started trying to set up shop, they would tell me and they would set it up so I can rob them, do you know, and get them out of the town, do you know what I mean? Or I can get people to do it. And there's sometimes like I could even get like a user to go in there and rob them, do you know what I mean? And kind of get them out of business. So there was a big loyalty that I had with them. Because before me, there was this girl that she was a user herself, and you know, she wasn't really doing much. And then after that, it was me. And I think I was probably like one of the first people from London to really come up and set up shop over there.
You were a fair boss.
And yeah, I was really, really fair. And I didn't deal with anyone like it was beneath me or anything like that. Everyone just got what they deserved, kind of thing. And yeah, nobody ever snitched.
Did any of them do time once you got caught?
Yeah, but one worker did time, and there was one. Users were getting arrested, but because they're users, they was getting arrested and coming out, like they would get arrested with drugs, and it's like, all right, you get, I forgot what it used to be called, but it's like, what's that thing called where they will release you, but you got to do a drug program?
Oh God.
I forgot what the name of it is.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But you'd get released, like having to do this drug program, like, and
rehabilitation.
Yeah, it's a rehabilitation program. Yeah. And yeah, that was it. So it's like they kind of knew if they got arrested, it wouldn't be that deep, kind of thing. And when I actually did get arrested up there, they had said to me that they've been on me for a very long time, you know, because like I said, I was there for years, you know, never ever got nicked. And then when they finally got me, it was just like, yeah,
wow,
they was kind of happy to get me.
And was that your first arrest?
Not arrest in general, but it was not my first arrest in general, but it was the first time I had been arrested for drugs.
What was your first arrest?
Section 5 firearm, pepper spray, something silly.
Oh, what, you just had a bit of pepper spray?
Yeah, I had a bit of pepper spray. I was like 15 or 16. Went to a party in Edmonton, and we had beef with Edmonton a lot of these times as well. And then someone's just pulled up, he pulled a gun out. We're all just running down the road, we're jumping over fences and things like this. And then we've ended up in someone's back garden, and then the door was open, the back door was open. So we've all kind of gone in there, was hiding kind of thing. And then whoever's house it was obviously called police. And then, do you know what I mean? But we didn't know that they called police, do you know what I mean? And then they've just turned up to the house. And then, yeah, I had pepper spray on me, and just, it's just silliness, do you know what I mean?
What was the charges on that?
Section 5 firearm.
Yeah, but what did you get charged with, like?
I got cautioned.
Caution?
Yeah, I got cautioned. That was the first time I'd been arrested. Since then, it's like driving offences, like small things. And then I eventually got nicked for the drugs.
So how was the arrest? How did that go down?
So this is it. And it would never have happened, but it was like, so somebody that was working for me, the way he kind of had it, like, so the way I've had my things set up, like I've explained to you guys, like, is don't leave the house, the user will sell everything, whatever. And then, so the guy I was paying, he thought, and he was quite naive to this, I reckon, I don't know, but he thought, you know what, I'm never gonna, I'm just gonna go back to London and let the user sell it because it was going off the user's line anyway. So that they used to ring the user's line. So what he did was he left, I think it was like 2 ounces, one of each, like one of white, one of B. And he went back to London and kind of left it with the user because, like, you know, you do get close with them, you live together kind of thing. And he just kind of trusted him to do that. But the reason why I'm paying you, I could have just paid the user to go and do that. But the reason I'm paying you is to hold on to it because you can't give an addict that much drugs, do you know what I mean? So then...
He's broke the protocol here, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's gone home, didn't tell me. So I'm trying to call him, he's not picking up. I'm calling the user, he's not picking up. So I've called like one of my certified users over there, like he was like on action. So I've called him, like, go over to my man's house. And then he's gone to the house, he's like, oh, D, you're not gonna like this. He's saying that the house got raided, they had to flush it down the toilet. He's like, listen, don't listen to that. He smoked it all. I know he smoked it. He's high as fuck. You know, do you know what I mean? And I was like, what the fuck? But I couldn't even blame the user because, you know, it's in front of
Temptation.
Of course.
Exactly. So I couldn't even blame him. But it was like, I've had to now come up myself, and I haven't been up there for years. Do you know what I mean? I had different people going up there, but I didn't myself been up there for years. So because I didn't want to take another loss or risk it with anybody, I had to come up myself, and I was breaking it down into like, okay, I'm just going to drop off a quarter of each. And when you're finished, give me a shot, whatever. So I was in a bed and breakfast, still never left the house. I would just catch a cab, drop off a quarter of each. When it's finished, it might be finished in like an hour or 2 hours or whatever. Drop off another quarter of each. And what had happened was, one day I've called the phone early in the morning and the phone's off, but sometimes they sleep, you know, and the other users in the town have a number for me as well. So they're like, I'm trying to call the phone, it's not on, tell them to wake up, So I'm like, cool, I'll just knock on the house. So I've caught cab there to wake them up, because sometimes they don't wake up, they're probably like, you know. So I've gone to knock on the house, and then police jumped out on me. Do you know what I mean? They're like, don't move, whatever. And then they've like, I'm like, shit, I've got nothing on me, by the way. Like, you know, I've just come to wake them up, kind of thing. I've just had a bit of money. I think I had $2,000 in cash on me, and the phone line. And then while they've jumped out on me, but they're all CID, so they're all like wearing
normal clothes. I'm
thinking, these lot have got me. Like, I'm thinking there's people trying to rob me here. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the way they jumped to me, they robbed me, tackled me, had me in the ground. But then when they put the cuffs on, brought me in the house. I'd seen that everyone in the house had been arrested. I was like, cool. I'm like, bro, what are you stopping? It's not the first time I've been arrested down there. Because like I said in that video, when I'm driving, I'd been arrested for like other things, you know. And the police officer was like, he knew it was me, but I'd gotten away with it, kind of thing. And yeah, when they arrested me, I was sat on the table, phone lines just ringing off. It's quite obvious, do you know what I mean? And I was like, look, I'm up here seeing my uncle, do you know what I mean? I was just chatting shit. They was like, what are these keys that I've got here? And then I was like, well, this is my house key, this is my car key, this key. And then I was like, and they was like, what are these keys? These are the hotel keys. I was like, oh, this is the keys to my shed. I just made up some bullshit, yeah. And it was like, that's funny. And he slapped down the same set of keys. They were staying in the bed and breakfast that I was in. So they was doing an operation, basically. Wow. As soon as I got up, like, they had, because I've never been up there. Like, I hadn't been up there until that mistake got made. And as soon as I got up there, they was on me, and they were staying in the same hotel, whatever. So even though I didn't have nothing on me, I thought they went straight into the hotel, got all the drugs, you know. So yeah, that's when they finally got me. And the guy, I think the detective was like, we've been trying to get you for years. I just didn't say nothing. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, it is what it is, kind of thing.
Had you a plan for this situation?
Nah, not at all. The plan was, if I go to prison, business goes as usual, and then, you know, just pay me rental fees for the line. Like, I set it up like to, you know, pay me £500 a week, which is very fair. And then my mate ended up snaking me and not paying me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is just how it goes. Do you know what I'm saying?
So you got taken to the station.
Yeah.
What happened next?
Yeah, they charged me for conspiracy to supply Class A drugs, and yeah, that was it. And then from there, I went to court.
Did you have a lawyer in mind, like if shit went down?
Nah. So I had I went with duty solicitors, which is big. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a big mistake because it was an open and shut case, bro. Like I didn't need to pay for any type of lawyers because they had me. They was in the same hotel as me. They was watching me. You know, as soon as I'd gone up there, like they was already on me. Do you know what I mean? And then like that story that I said in the car, when I went to go and check the bookies, there was a car waiting there. Do you know what I mean? And so every time I'd gone up there, they was ready for me and I'd kind of been arrested. So yeah, it was my mistake for going back up there and yeah, I got arrested for that. Got 4 years. And yeah, I did that in Norwich and High Point. I think this was like 2010 or 11. So that was like one of the first times I'd been to prison.
That was the first time?
No, first time was a driving offence. Like I had a couple driving offence, like 6 months here and there, but that was very minor. But this is the first actual, what I'd count as like the first actual time that I did. Do you know what I mean?
Longer sentence, yeah.
Yeah.
So what was it like your first day going in?
In all honesty, I was nervous, you know, because you watch the movies and you think like, and then when I got off the sweatbox, someone screamed out the window, "Fresh meat." And I was yeah, like, I don't know why they did that, because when I got in the wing, everyone was like pussy-holes, do you know what I mean? Like, when I got in the wing, there was no one really intimidating, but because we was in Norwich and there wasn't really any bad boys up there, do you know what I mean, at the time. But yeah, someone screamed out the window, "Fresh meat." I was like, oh fuck, it's gonna go down there, man, do you know what I mean? And I was just thinking like how to move. I was very self-conscious about like, you know, if anyone says anything, I just need to bang him, like, you know, on site, doesn't matter, you know, just get it cracking, don't ever take a violation, like I was very much like that.
This podcast is sponsored by Harry's. Harry's is way more than a super sharp razor company. They're here to revamp your whole routine, from close shaves and flake-free hair, all the way to clear, healthy skin. Harry's helps guys feel great. For this sponsorship, Harry's is offering a free travel-sized shower gel with a trial set to you, the viewers, to give you a chance to try their other products as well as shave. Please make sure to support this podcast and give your own shower shave a go by redeeming a free Harry's trial set. All you cover is £3.95 for delivery. Just head to harrys.com/Shaun, SHAUN, to have your set delivered and start a shave plan. Your freebie will be added at checkout. That's harrys.com/Shaun, SHAUN. Thank you for supporting Harry's. Link is in the description box below this video.
But then I think on my first day, I had met a few users that used to work for me. A lot of people had already heard of me because of the business I've been doing for years. And then the Londoners, there was a few other Londoners like working in Ipswich, Norwich, do you know what I mean? And we had all just kind of linked up and it was all right, you know? We just kind of got into the swing of things, do you know what I mean? And like I said, it turned out there wasn't really anyone too bad in that jail, do you know what I mean? We ended up kind of being the bad ones, like the London guys. There's like a London syndrome, yeah, where Londoners just think they don't really have respect for like little towns, or like they just think that they're the baddest, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then when you go to places like Liverpool, Birmingham, Manchester, you got like bad boys there as well. But a lot of London people, they're just, because they've just been in London all their life and there's a lot of violence that goes on, you just kind of have that London syndrome. When you go to prison, you just think, right, you're from country, you can't tell me nothing, you ain't seen nothing, do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Did you have your own cell?
Yeah, so I learned, so this was another silly thing that happened, but it worked in my favour. But I learned in the beginning, you have to be in a double. But I'd learned, like, someone had told me, like an old timer that was there, like, if you want your own cell, you got to beat up your cellmate. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
So did you?
Yeah. But for a reason, like, it was over. What was it over? I think it was over the TV or something like that, and we was arguing over the TV, and he was watching bullshit, and I was so young, like, I think I was about 20 years old, so just with the young mentality, I just kind of got it cracking with him in the cell. He pressed the emergency light, the officers came in, they nicked me for fighting or whatever, but since then I was made a high-risk prisoner, so I wasn't allowed to share a cell with anyone. But that's how I wanted it. I wanted my own cell. I like my own company. I don't do double bang up. I didn't like it. Only, like, of my choice. So, like, since then I've had cellmates, but it's like I would choose. You have to say to the officer, look, I want to lose my high risk status. I'm willing to bang up with this guy. He's my cousin, or he's my good friend from, do you know what I mean? And yeah.
So did they upgrade you to a high risk prison because your classification?
No, there isn't a high risk prison. It's just that you can be a high risk prisoner in a low risk prison. Like, do you know what I mean? So a high risk prisoner just means you're high risk to your cellmate. You know what I mean? There's people that have mental health issues. So, like, someone could be a schizophrenic, and he would be automatically high risk because there's no telling what he's gonna do while their cellmate's sleeping. Do you know what I mean? So high risk isn't that hard to get. Do you know what I mean? But, like, yeah, as a young person, I just kind of did that. I'm not proud of it or nothing like that. It's nothing to be glorified or nothing, but I just kind of did that because I wanted my own cell. And then since then, that kind of stays in your record. So every prison I went to, I was able to, like, keep a single cell.
Can't beat a single cell.
So what category prison was this?
This was a BCAT, but it was a BCAT remand. There's a difference between BCAT remand and BCAT sentence. So every remand prison is BCAT in the country. Sorry. Every remand prison is BCAT in the country because they're either holding ACAT prisoners, BCAT prisoners, CCAT or DCAT at any time. Because you're waiting your sentence, and when you get sentenced, that's when you can get categorized. If it's like murder, high profile cases, you go straight to ACAT. If you're like a known prisoner, like high profile prisoner, like you're known to have a lot of money, maybe they put you in category A. And those are the prisons like Belmarsh, Long Lartin, Whitemoor. They call them dispersal prisons. And then after that you have BCAT, which is like, and these are so BCAT sentence, so not the remand prisons, but like BCAT sentence prisons is like 10 years and above. If you got 10 years and above, you go to a high security BCAT, and BCATs have ACATs sometimes, or they like do BCATs, but there's no CCATs there or nothing like that. It's a high security prison, and majority of people just go to CCATs, and that's where I went to after Norwich. But that was my drug sentence. For the sentence that I just came out of, I was BCAT for like 4 years. Yeah, I was in a high security prison for like 4 years, and then I finally got my CCAT, and we'll probably get into that afterwards. Yeah.
Going back to the first one, then, when you're on remand, did you have to have a trial?
No, I went guilty. So, I didn't. My solicitor even said, like, look, they've kind of, I think they had a money laundering thing on me, and that's like, I just had to sign a piece of paper, Proceeds of Crime Act, and just let them take the money. It was only $2,000. I had $2,000 on me. Do you know what I mean? And they was like, it's proceeds of crime, whatever. If I try to fight for this $2,000, then I can get extra time, whatever. And it was just $2,000, so I was like, take that. And yeah, so yeah, I went guilty at the earliest.
How had you been laundering your money?
and I wasn't laundering my money. They just call it money laundering.
Yeah.
So like, cause I don't know why they do that. Like, but because it's proceeds of crime. I think that the money they called it that. I don't know. Like, there's an article about it online, and they talk about, you know, how I was done for money laundering, whatever. But I wouldn't say I was laundering money because I was just, and I think a lot of people that in my situation was doing this as well. It wasn't that organized. It was just like, you get money, you go shopping, you buy what you want, Do you know what I mean? I never had cards, you know, so nothing really went through. It was just cash. Everything was just paid for in cash, and no questions were really
Just
asked.
as well as the cops would have took it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because if the cops had seen, you know, I'd spent 50 grand this year, then they would be able to put a big pocker on me. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, everything was just done in cash, you know.
So back to prison, did you see many acts of violence in your first day?
First day.
Stay.
Stay. I'll stay.
Oh, my first day.
Yeah.
First day.
Not the first day.
The first day.
Well, maybe the first day, but...
Yeah,
Fresh
man.
meat.
Yeah, there was plenty of violence, man. Plenty of violence. You know, I would say the first bit that you would see fights here and there, like little fights here and there, but the first kind of serious fight was like, my mate had a little mate, Jake Baker. Yeah, shout out Jake. I haven't spoken to this guy in like over 10 years, man. But since prison, but he was my good mate. He was from Essex, and he's only a little guy, yeah. But he had beef with this like steroid head, like, you know, and they was shouting at each other through the windows and whatever. And then it was exercise time, because I'm sure Norwich was like 22 hours lock up, so we had like 1 hour exercise, 1 hour association. So it was exercise now, and we've met up on the yard, and then straight away Jake and this steadhead just got it cracking. And then I remember I got involved, I started cracking him as well. So it was like 2-on-1 kind of thing. But when Jake got on top of him, Jake, like, he pushed his whole finger into his eye.
Oh.
He was gouging out his eyes, you know, because Jake's a small guy, but he's vicious, do you know what I mean? And like, yeah, and after that, his eye popped out, man.
Oh.
It was nasty, man. But after that, like, there was a lot of respect gained on that wing, man. Do you know what I mean? You know. No.
That's what you told me to do, Shaun. If I get attacked by a man,
It's
is
a
to go
very
for his
effective
eyes.
thing to do, isn't it? Because that's the most vulnerable part of the body, really.
I would never do that. Do you know? Because I cringe out at that shit. But he was a big guy. He would have took both of us easily. But like, where we kind of toppled over, and like Jake was on top of him, like grabbing him. He was grabbing Jake, and I was just trying to hit him from the side. Jake just kind of pushed his thumb in. It was disgusting.
Did the guy get his eye fixed?
Yeah. He was cool. I actually met him like a year later in High Point. He was my next door. But when I landed in High Point, that was more of a London jail. Like, so I had loads of friends. So he was just kind of like, he actually did business with me. He bought a phone off me, everything like that. It was cool. I was like, you know, it's nothing personal. Like, it's how it goes in jail. Like, you know, they had beef. Like, of course I've got to get involved because that's my mate.
And can he see all right?
Yeah, he was all right, man. I don't think it was a permanent damage or nothing like that. He just gouged his eyes. Do you know what I mean?
What was the original beef over?
I couldn't tell you, man. This is back in 2010 or 11, maybe. I don't know. So I couldn't tell you. There's been so much situations since then, but it was their beef, you know, and they was arguing with each other. I think they're probably from the same areas, because I think that guy was actually from Colchester and Jake was from Essex. So I think it was like some type of beef that they had, do you know what I mean? But I couldn't tell you any more than that, to be fair. But yeah, like, there was a lot of fights going on in Norwich. A couple choppings, like a couple people got caught, you know, which is quite normal in them prisons. A lot of people like even cut themselves, man. There's a lot of self-harmers in prison. Yeah, that was the prison where I first seen someone hang themselves. Yeah, I saw him swinging in the cell, like his face all went purple and blue, like he was. So yeah, I did see.
See him do the act.
No, I didn't see him do the act. I just saw him swinging.
The aftermath.
Yeah, and that happens a lot in jail. A lot of people hang themselves. And yeah, that sentence. Yeah, there was a bit of violence, but I think it was like that was like my first sentence. So it was like I didn't have much experience then. But like it was on my longer sentence where I properly saw some real violence. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
On that first one, then you'd set it up whereby you were supposed to get kicked down from your line. How soon into that sentence did you realise you were getting snaked?
Quite soon. Yeah, quite soon. So as I was there, these times it was a lot harder to get a phone in there, but someone had brought a phone in, I'd got it paid for, so I got a phone almost straight away. And then I called the guy that I trusted. I was like, yeah, we've spoken about this as well outside. I said, in the very worst case, if anything happens, I want you to take over, do your thing. And yeah, it was like, he was like, yeah, I'll give you X amount, whatever. And yeah, nothing, I couldn't get hold of him anymore. I was calling people like, if you see this guy, you need to do him, But yeah, that's just how it goes. And I kind of learned that afterwards, like in this business, like no one's really.
I was going to ask how pissed you were about it.
Yeah, I was pissed, man. I was pissed because then you got to fend for yourself now. And you got to like kind of get involved in certain things, Also, what I did see, what was kind of mad, was, and it was on this same sentence, like, so we was on the induction wing. So on the induction wing, a lot of kids, or a lot of men get moved to on the induction because they might come in from road with a parcel. Do you know what I mean? And this one guy came in, and it was like people were saying, my mate from Ipswich, he said to me, he's like, oh, this guy's got a Z of white in his ass. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? He got ounce of white in his ass. And he was like, all right, cool, like let's go there kind of thing. So we went there. I didn't get involved or nothing like that. But these guys are like, these two kids are like, they're battering him, and they're like, get in the toilet. So they got him on the toilet, put the newspaper out on the toilet, and they make you shit. Do you know what I mean? Ooh. And I felt so bad, because I wasn't involved yet. I was just there to get a break off, because I didn't need to get involved in that. But I was just there, like, if he has got a parcel, break me off so I can make some money myself, kind of thing. And these guys are like battering him. He's saying, I haven't got a parcel. It's a lie. He had told someone that he's got an ounce of white, and he made a big mistake. He didn't actually have anything on him, but it gets worse.
Go on.
It gets worse, like, so.
They're going in.
They go, yeah.
They're going in, like, do you know what I mean? So he's on the toilet and he can't even shit, do you know what I'm saying? So nothing's coming out. So then they called like one user, but he's like one of them serious users. They're like, listen, come in the cell. The users come in the cell. Like, look, get the spoon out. Do you know what I mean? And then he's taking the spoon and he's pushed it up his arse. Couldn't find nothing. Anyways, because I wasn't actually on that wing, I was just told about the move, yeah. So I just kind of bounced from my wing onto that wing. I wasn't supposed to be on that wing, so I just kind of got off. Like when shit started going down, I just said, yeah, this is safe. I'm not involved in this. But everyone in that cell, everyone else in that cell, the people that was actually on the wing, they ended up getting sexual assault charges.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Spooning someone's asshole.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Played a role in that, though, didn't he? Bragging that he had
it. He shouldn't have. And I think some people come on the wing like, yeah, I've got this.
I'm the man.
Maybe I'm the man. Yeah, I've got this and that. But like, in prison, people are like,
can't play like that.
People don't play like that. And the ounce of white in prison is worth a lot of money.
Bet he learnt his lesson.
Yeah, of course, man.
Now.
He's traumatized after that, man. Do you know what I mean? But that happens a lot in jail.
How often?
I don't know, if someone comes in with a parcel that isn't really safe and he's not, usually they would just shit it out. They would be so scared. Like if they did actually have a parcel, they get in the toilet, then they'll push it out. And then what happens is obviously people have got gloves, like cleaners or whatever, they got gloves. They clean it up, take it out of, like, it might be in a condom, it might be wrapped up or whatever, unwrap it, and it's clean in it. So a lot of people get parcels out that way. You just put like a newspaper down and then make it so it doesn't go down the toilet, or if it's a phone, it doesn't get water damage or whatever. And yeah, a lot of things happen like that. But if they can't actually shit at the time, like people would force it out, kind of thing. It's deep.
When I was at, they'd put ice cubes in people's asses if they'd passed out on heroin, because if the guard was going to come in and do a count and he saw a guy passed out on heroin, whole building's locked down, shakedowns, drug business stops. So the gang ordered that the guy gets woken up by getting ice cubes stuck in his ass.
Wow, yeah, that's nuts.
One of my ex done that as a party trick. He used to put an ice cube up his bum.
Did he?
Yeah, he's a Welsh guy, pretty mental.
Yeah, that's a bit mad.
Because of what, please?
What about juggings?
Oh yeah,
Juggings.
juggins. I've only recently
What's that,
discovered
hot water?
juggins. Yeah, with the sugar.
Oh yeah, plenty of that, man. I seen someone get hot water, then he was a black guy with the sugar though, and you know, it was just pink. He went from black to pink. You could see like the flesh. And cause like your natural reaction when you've got water splashed in your face is to wipe it off. Like he's wiping off and his skin's just coming out down with him. Yeah, you see that quite a few